Oh my god. They did it. They took my question. What's up, Bandit Crew, and welcome back to another Crash Team Rumble related video. In this video, we're going to be taking on the Crash Team Rumble Discord server, as in the submit a question section of the Discord server, Toys for Bob has officially posted a bunch of different questions that were asked from the closed beta up until now, and they're just simply going through and answering as many as they possibly could. So this is their statement. Hey Crash Team Rumble fans, we're excited to bring you our latest blog post where we've compiled a list of fan-submitted questions about the beta version of the game that took place on April 20th, 2023. Since the beta's release, we've received an overwhelming response from players eager to know more about the game's features, mechanics, and what they can expect from the full final version when it launches on June 20th. In this Q&A style post, we'll be answering some of the most frequently asked questions straight from the community, so sit back, grab a Wumpa flavored drink, and get ready to learn more about the highly anticipated game, Crash Team Rumble. All right, I'm excited. Let's see what they compiled together and gave us for these questions. So, when the game is fully released, what can we expect from limited time modes? During the course of our seasons, which last roughly 3 months at a time, you can expect that the game will have a robust schedule of events and limited time modes. We'll have more to share about on this soon. Okay. So that's cool. So we do know that we'll be getting new modes each season. They've already confirmed this a while back in a blog post that they did on Activision's website talking about the game and going more in depth with the Battle Pass. But I am very much looking forward to the different events and limited time modes that they may have to offer. Very, very much looking forward to it. What are the first aspects from the beta that you're looking at to be immediately tweaked for the full game? That's exactly right. We'll be collecting data to help us tune for a smoother launch and prioritize changes for the mid-season update and Season 2. We're paying close attention to hero and power usage, balance, and win rates, player progression, actual versus estimates, and matchmaking conditions and unexpected issues. Alright, so they're just clarifying that basically what the closed beta was for. Just making sure that they have everything tuned and ready to go for when the game comes out. And I know a lot of people have given their criticism towards it being like a 4 or 5 day beta, but I feel like that was more than enough time to give them to tune different things. As playing the beta, it very much felt close to a finished product. Like the servers were perfectly fine tuned. To some extent, there were some lag here and there, and you know, you had some lobby issues, but other than that, I mean, from what they had, that was pretty solid for a closed beta. From the data so far, what is the most interesting thing you found during the beta? There are over 2 times as many PlayStation 5 players than PS4. That's interesting. A lot of people use the term actually to describe their experience. The game's actually really fun. A lot of people played over 100 matches. Some people played over 30 hours. Hey, I'm one of them. I played for like 40 something hours, and I'm sure there are tons of other people that's played for more than 40 hours. How did you make the game so fun? We started with a unique and intriguing question. What does a competitive multiplayer Crash platformer look like? Then our team of incredibly talented, intelligent, kind human beings tried many ideas and iterated on the game for years until we were ready to share it with the rest of the world. Very interesting. We've heard this go around, especially in some of Canadian Guy A's videos where he's talking about going and doing Q&As with some of the devs. We know that the development for this has been going on for many years, and they were just trying to find the right solution or right way to tackle a game like this, so that's very interesting. I would love to learn more about the development of this game, because there's just so much. Like, if we had so much go into the production of Crash Bandicoot 4, it's about time. I want to know what the full extent to Crash Team Rumble is. Does the game have a story that explains why everyone is collecting Wumpa fruits in teams? Alright. Oh! They've actually got a story here! The Great Wumpa Games originally came from a humble beginning, springing forth as an offshoot activity tied to Wumpa Island's annual Wumpa Harvest. Inhabitants from the various islands would form teams and compare how many Wumpa could be gathered on any given day. What initially started out as a light diversion has now grown into a cutthroat competition, filled with the fiercest competitors any dimension has ever seen. The annual competition is such a monumental event that onlookers will even witness hated rivals banding together to become the Crash Team Rumble champions. That is interesting. That is super interesting. I was not expecting any kind of like story or anything like that. I'm also gonna be tweeting this out right now because I don't know. I'm sure someone else has has tweeted it out, but I want to. Will you maybe be adding any new characters later on down the road? Not maybe, most certainly, and regularly. Will there be more characters from the original Crash Bandicoot trilogy? I would really love to see characters like Tiny Tiger, Ripperoo, Pinstripe, and the Komodo brothers. We're so thrilled to see the excitement for new characters. We most certainly have new heroes actively in the works for future seasons, and yes, we are very open to suggestions on who else to queue up for down the road. One thing to note is that we intend on growing the cast thoughtfully and gradually. Each hero in Crash Team Rumble is more than just an avatar. They are completely unique in their movement and combat abilities, and it takes a lot of iteration and tuning to make sure they mechanically contribute to the game's meta in a fresh but balanced way. We're not going to rush out heroes that aren't ready in favor of trying to hit a huge cast of favorites and fresh faces. We're looking forward to being thoughtful on how we grow the cast together with you, and that's something that I'm really excited. This is the first time we've had a Crash Bandicoot multiplayer game that implements these characters as actual playable characters. I'm not talking about in Crash Team Racing where you just play as the character in the car and you know they have different stats and whatnot. This is the first time we're going to be able to actually play Entropy, Ripperoo, Papu Papu, all these different characters in an actual platforming segment. Like, these characters are designed to be platforming characters, not just some random character that you throw into a cart. So I'm very interested and very intrigued into seeing how they're going to give each of these characters, new and old alike, various different abilities and how it's going to change up the playing field of Crash Team Rumble as a whole. I'm so excited to see that. Do you think you can add characters, stages, and music from all Crash Bandicoot games and not only the PS1 era? Lawyers whispering in our ears, maybe possibly influenced by Unlikely. This is interesting because this means that some of the stuff that people might want might not be able to get it because of how vast the Crash property is. The IP has been passed around through various different people, and you know, you only get to work with a certain amount of things that you are handed and are able to work with unless something changes legally. It maybe Unlikely is a very good way to push it. We will obviously be getting newer stages and new things, but I mean, it's a possibility we could see various different things pop up over time. Will there be crossovers with other franchises like Spyro? Intriguing suggestion. It is. So you better put Sonic in, all right, and then that's it. Will Fate Crash have his iconic green pants back if he returns? Does he even wear green or blue pants? Community, this needs to be settled. Well, I'll let you guys battle that out in the comments down below. I don't mind the blue pants. I don't mind the green pants. Whichever you guys want, I guess. Battle it out in the comments. Have you all thought about adding characters from Microsoft IPs in the form of DLC? We'd love to. Phil, what do you think? So you're telling me I might be able to get Master Chief on in the field? No, I'm just kidding. But having someone like Banjo-Kazooie in the games would be really fun. I think that'd be very intriguing. Can you make Crash Bandicoot's Air Dash more useful and more stylish like Coco's Air Dash? Will you add other abilities for heroes in the future? We're pretty satisfied with the number of abilities in a hero's kit, but we're going to be continually studying the play data and will routinely patch adjustments for balance. Stay tuned. So they're not outright saying that they will add stuff or they won't add stuff, but we could potentially see new stuff get put in depending on how the playing field changes with the more characters that we get in and the more various different things. Maybe there's an exploit with one of Crash's moves or Coco's attacks and yada yada yada. So we'll see. Will characters voices be added. It would be nice to hear characters have a few different lines they say, like in the racing. Really early on, we tried adding voice lines, and it turns out with an enormous volume of variable lines, it got pretty annoying quickly. With how much is going on in a match, we opted to clear out unnecessary chatter on the comms. Makes sense. Now, as much as I would love to hear chatter amongst the characters, you gotta think, you have the announcer going on, you have your teammates talking back and forth with each other, trying to figure out where they're going to go and all this kind of stuff, on top of various different other things going on in the background. I think it was a safe bet and a safe call to turn off character voice. What does it mean when there are stars over your hero's head? You are immune to stun during this time. Okay. Is there a way to charge your power meter faster? Yes. If you play to your role, it will accelerate your power's charge. An example, score as a scorer or deny Wumpa as a blocker. How did the character Catbat come to be? Stay tuned. I want to know more about Catbat. You can't do this to me. How dare you? How dare you? How dare you? What's the Retro Threads Tana skin going to look like? Stay tuned. I think I already know what it is. If it's what I think it's going to look like, a lot of people are probably going to hate it. But once the full game releases, will level 6 still be the max level for characters? Will it still be as quick to level them up to the max level? At launch, heroes will be able to level up to 15 and have 2 additional challenges. Okay, so that's pretty much what most people were predicting it to be, either 15 to 20. I think some people were going for 25. I think even myself I said 25, but 15 seems like a very solid place to cut it off. And it's interesting that they'll allow you to have 2 additional challenges after you've reached max level. Why is an Activision account required for Crash Team Rumble? 2 big advantages: crossplay and cross progression. Will there be any additional match types, and can you tell us anything about them? Most certainly stay tuned for Season Up. When will you add game modes? For example, will there be a mode to extend the game by double the score limit? Sounds like an interesting experiment. How are you all feeling about the average match length so far? Well, considering that there's no time limit to the match length, I think that it's fairly decent enough. I mean, having more of a tense situation where you go overtime would be interesting, but again, there's not really a time limit unless this is specifically stating that there is going to be a time limit. We don't know, and we're just now figuring it out. But I think the average length of a match going from 7 to 10-ish minutes is perfectly fine with me. And if you do end up adding a timer, you know, maybe making a tense situation where you can have people go head to head for just a little bit longer might make things a little bit more interesting. Will you be implementing offline functions like a local multiplayer mode? At its core, the game is specifically designed for online multiplayer, and that's where our focus is at the moment. It's an interesting suggestion. So yeah, I agree. If your main focus is online multiplayer and you're trying to give us the best experience that it can be on online multiplayer, it's much suggested that you stay on this path with online multiplayer rather than trying to focus on something else, because it's taken time and efforts away for trying to get this other thing implemented in while we're still trying to figure out that this online experience is the best experience that it can be. So that's great to know. Will there be a single player or adventure mode for this game? We intend on adding different types of modes in the future, and PvE is certainly something that interests us as a potential experience down the road. For launch, our focus is squarely on this brand new Team v Team experience and want to make sure that it is the best it can be before expanding into other varieties. Again, going back to the other one, you know, the more they focus on this, the more they can give us a better experience overall for when the game launches, and we don't have to worry about various different other factors going into play when trying to focus on other things. But it is cool that they are, you know, basically saying that PvE and other things are being looked into, or, you know, are being taken into consideration. Can you tell us about the trophies and achievements the game will have and how hard they will be to complete? Yes, it won't be as difficult as Crash 4, if that's what you're getting at. Awesome. Okay, I'm glad that it's not going to be like Crash 4, and they are acknowledging that they know that the difficulty level in Crash 4 is a little high. So for the next mainline game, maybe they're hinting that this will be that difficulty will take a little drop. So that's awesome. I'm glad for that. Will spectator mode be added? Not in current plans, no. Okay. Well, I need subscriptions like PS Plus or Xbox Live Gold to play online. Yes. Okay. So this was the biggest like mystery for a lot of, because during the closed beta, you didn't have to have PlayStation Plus or Xbox Live Gold to play the game. And on the store pages, aside from like the mobile store for PlayStation 5, I believe, it showed that you needed a PlayStation Plus account or membership to play the game. So that is a little unfortunate, but again, it's understandable. And it's not really that expensive. Any plans on releasing the game on PC? No announcement at this time. Crash Team Rumble will launch on June 20th on PlayStation and Xbox consoles. Okay. Will we be able to use the D-pad to move in the future? At the moment, the D-pad is reserved for emotes. We've seen a lot of suggestions to extend support for more emotes there. We already know about the battle pass and character level and challenge systems, but will there be other ways to obtain cosmetics? It's conceivable that there might be a store down the road, but it's not currently a priority for us. Our focus right now is making rewards earned by playing. Which, I mean, again, we know microtransactions will eventually hit the... I mean, they're already in the game if we're counting the battle pass as a microtransaction thing. But it is nice to see that, you know, obviously down the road, there will be a store of some sort, but they are focusing mainly on letting you play the game to earn the item rather than purchase like a currency or something else to get these cosmetics if you don't want to buy into the battle pass. So very much looking forward to seeing how they're going to handle that. Can you add Toxic Waste as a victory soundtrack? Do we have the license for that? Checking. We do. All right, let's do it. All right. So again, going back to various other things that people might want in the game, licenses do play a big role in that, so that makes sense that they would be able to add Toxic Waste, considering that they said that they have a license for it, plus it was in the Insane Trilogy, so it makes sense, which probably means we're going to be getting the Toxic Waste track for Insane Trilogy. Will the game be supported a year after its release? We intend to support this game well after launch for as long as we can. We're suited up for a marathon. Will there be an option to modify command on a single character instead of all of them? Good suggestion. We'll evaluate this for future releases. Will it be possible to automatically disconnect inactive players? Yes, we also saw idle players holding up some lobbies in beta and are developing ways to combat this. That's great. That is fantastic. Thank you. That is very much needed. Oh my god. They did it. They took my question. Can we get Crash crashing through the window as an emote, please? Lawyers are looking into it. That's me, baby. Crashing through the windows. Let's go. Okay, awesome. I can't wait. I can't wait to crash through a window as an emote. That's gonna be awesome. I'm gonna use it every single game. You better give it to me. Better give it to me. That's mine. Will you make a change to have the unlockable music playable in different parts of the game? Good thought. We'll think on this. Will our progress from the beta transfer over to the full game when it releases? No, one big reason for the beta is to understand real-world progression rates so we can tune it for the launch of the game. The reward schedule may differ in subtle ways for the final game also. And plus, I mean, again, I've talked about this with a couple other people. If you are getting the physical edition, which is the deluxe edition, or if you're getting the deluxe edition, it gives you the 25 level upgrade, like instant thing for season 1. So if you did grind up to level 30 or level 25 or however far into the battle pass you got, you do get some of that progression back due to. So I would look into getting the deluxe edition or a physical version of Crash Team Rumble if you want some of that progress back. We know the game has crossplay, but will it have cross progression? For example, can we carry our progression and unlocks from platform to platform? Yes, they've previously stated. How much will it cost for each premium battle pass? We'll have more details to share as we approach season 2, but it will very likely be within industry standards. So most battle passes are somewhat like $9.99, I believe. That's for Fortnite's battle pass. I believe it's $9.99, $10 or so. It might be that, or it might be a little less, might be a little more. We'll have to see. Hopefully it's nothing too big. Could you make one of the fun facts say there's not gonna be a new Skylanders game? No. Thanks, TFB. We're so excited for Crash 5 and Spyro 4. I see what you did there. I just want to ask, how are you, Crash? Crash says, I just got uppercutted by Tawna and had a very large Gasmoxian come crashing down on my head, so couldn't be better. Let's rumble again. I'm so happy that they got my question in and that they're looking into it. I can be crashing through windows all the time. But that's it for the Q&A. Let me know if you learned anything new, or if you had your questions answered, or if this has answered any burning questions that you may have had or didn't even think of. And I'm gonna go ahead and put this video quickly together. Thank you guys so much for watching. If you like this video, please don't forget to leave a like, subscribe for more Crash Bandicoot content and Crash Team Rumble, of course. And I'll see you guys in the battlefield when Crash Team Rumble releases on June 20th.